cannot warm the climate up anymore. We are not really, it's not climate change anymore, it's climate crisis. This atmosphere around us, 30 out of 10 air quality, worst in the world, is a climate crisis, and everybody knows that. We also need to talk to our friends and acquaintances, because this is not about jobs. The oil industry is switching over to self-driving trucks. They're not interested in creating jobs in Alberta. They're eliminating jobs. It's not about revenues to pay for royalties, to pay for health and schools either, because we have amongst the lowest royalty rates in the world. Norway had real royalties, where they took their oil proceeds and made a fund so that they could switch to renewable energy and pay for schools and hospitals, but that's not what's been happening in Canada. Our oil industry, or our bitumen industry I should say, is in the single digits % of our economy. Far more of our economy, well over 90%, depends on a clean environment. And on our trip we met European tourists who said we can't even see. Where are the mountains? The whole tourism industry, people will not come here when it looks like this. Not when the world knows we have the worst air quality anywhere. And we need to see through these lies. And we need to talk to everyone who hasn't got all the information. And furthermore, I'm so proud of all these Indigenous nations that are standing up, and all the folks who are doing everything they can, including getting arrested, because this is not a spectator sport. Saving our health and the health of our children is not a spectator sport. So I want to tell another story. When I was a very young woman, well actually I'll start by saying I was arrested in May on the day that broke Burnaby residents opposed to the Kinder Morgan expansion. On the day they hosted their health die-in, we did an amazing piece of street theater at the other Kinder Morgan facility, and I was asked to be the doctor who went around the crowd of bodies laying on the pavement looking for survivors, and there were no survivors. And then I hacked and choked and coughed, acting as though I was dying. Unfortunately, today I have a real sore throat, and my chest really hurts, and my voice really is raspy from real terrible air quality. But that day I was acting. And anyways, it was also the day that the floodwaters went over the dikes in Rock Creek and in Grand Forks. And it was the day that Trudeau and Morneau announced that they were going to buy this pipeline. And that was my final straw. I was like, if we're going to use our taxpayers' money, our own money, against our health, then it's time for me to get arrested. But I want to tell you a more optimistic story for now, because that story is incomplete. Right now people are getting arrested for the first time, and there are many more and more brave folks coming out to get arrested for the first time. But a point will come where people are going to be getting arrested for a second time, or a third time, like our brave friend Kat. Or fourth time. Yes. Because we will not stop. So I want to tell you a more optimistic story, because this one is optimistic, but we haven't got to the exciting end yet of killing the pipeline. But when I was a very young woman, I was a youth protecting the environment, and I went on an exchange year to Germany, and I joined a bunch of really brave people over there who stood up and occupied a giant piece of forest, much like Burnaby Mountain, in order to stop a plutonium plant from being built. And thousands of people came from everywhere, much like we're organizing today, even before social media. And hundreds got arrested, and they kept getting arrested. And I got arrested there. And people kept getting arrested every weekend. They kept getting arrested until after 2 years, the government actually said, this is politically impossible to implement. We cannot build this plutonium factory. And that was the year that Germany decided to end new nuclear facilities and to go for solar and renewable. And look where they are now. So that's where we're headed. We're headed for solar and renewable. Well, solar and wind and other renewables. So the final thing I want to say is that it's really where we are right now, where our seniors are getting arrested and our youth are getting arrested who are previously law-abiding people. Are being sent to jail, straight to jail. This kind of suppression of dissidence only happens in the worst dictatorships in the world. So we really need to stand up and protect our democracy and our right to protect our own health and the health of our kids and our future generations. So thanks everybody for being here. We're going to win this fight.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you.
All right. Any questions?
So for those who aren't joining us, we're in Burnaby, British Columbia.
Oh, it was the year of Chernobyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to clarify. It was the year of Chernobyl that I was there.
They include
one comment I'd like to make, more than anyone. Our Prime Minister has deemed that this pipeline is in the national interest. Years ago, 150 years ago, we had a Prime Minister who led the fight to declare the national interest. We had to assimilate First Nations people and create the residential school system. These are the kind of leaders that they want us to listen to them unquestioningly and simply bow down to what their vested interest groups want them to do. We can't do that. We can't. They're supposed to work for us. That's very naive, but nonetheless, we elect them. They're supposed to represent people. We have a referendum coming up in British Columbia in October. We have a different situation in terms of Victoria today, where we have a coalition government which requires consensus and compromise, only probably possible under a proportional representation system. I'd like to encourage all of you to look into that and definitely express your desire for how we move forward with our electoral system. Personally, I would like to never see a majority government with 38% of the population in Canada ever again. I'd like to see a need for consensus and compromise, the will of the people, for the people, not for corporations.
Thanks for driving here from Kamloops this morning. Yeah.
The air, believe it or not, the air is cleaner here than it is in Kamloops.
This gentleman who's speaking drove in from Kamloops this morning, just to set up the air here in Vancouver is cleaner.
I'd like to stay down with Goldie. I'd like to go in time.
Hey folks, so it's a quick thing to say that Jim is heading off. Jim was one of the brave folks who was arrested today to protect this coast and this planet. So can we give a big thank you, Jim?
This song is for you, Jim. Could you just listen to our song? It's a thank you.
He's got to get back to Victoria.
Gotcha.
Like all the way to Victoria. So.
Yeah. We
Jim
understand.
was on his bike back to Victoria. Here.
Thank you, Jim.
Go to protectinlet.ca. It's protectinlet.ca/. This is day one of the week of action, which includes actions here at Westbridge, but also
we are
as well as downtown.
Rob and Lillian, and our daughter Jen is here with us.
I just want to make sure I get your phone number.
As a result of experiencing
Do you have a cell phone?
firsthand, shockingly, the immediate effects of
And then just,
long-term
it might take a while.
climate ignorance, we are now all suffering from the smoke, and well, the upshot of it is that we wrote a song, and we'd like to sing it for you. And there's been some distributions around. It's a simple tune, so please join in as you can.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
just before we head to that, there was an inspiration for another verse came, but we haven't written that verse yet. But on the way down here on the Lougheed Highway, where it's 4 lanes through Pit Meadows, just before the bridge, we saw, and Lillian instantly acted quickly and bravely and swerved to avoid hitting a mother goose, a Canada goose that was in the first lane, beckoning to her children. And we just noticed that how horrible it is that even the animals are disoriented, and tragically their lives are scattered because of this smoke. So all creatures in the entire world are affected by this. So I will sing loud and without a megaphone because I'm going to play the ukulele. We're sorry we've got so much smoke. Wildfire tragedy is no joke. The plants, the trees, and animals, the grief runs through our souls. We're sorry we've got so much smoke. We're sorry it's hard to breathe. We hope and pray that it will soon ease. The warnings have been there, now the smoke is in the air. We're sorry, we're sorry. We're sorry if you cannot see the sky. We all share the as things heat up around us and we all connect the dots. We're sorry if you cannot see the sky. Thank you, dear folks who choose to act, to go beyond the grief to the facts. We're in a revolution to safe energy solutions. Thank you, dear folks who choose to act. We're in a revolution to safe energy solutions. Thank you.